The order was ready, and the PUC was prepared to act. An order based on Administrative Law Judge David Mayer's opinion that would have required the Guam Waterworks Authority to cough up nearly $20 million from last year's $220 million infrastructure bond. But that didn't happen.
GWA is proposing that instead of the PUC acting on what we expected to be a recommendation to take the money out of the infrastructure loan, we said, just let us go borrow the money. The administrative law judge looked at the letter and he seemed to concur with us, and so when we were in front of the PUC, he suggested that they table his order and allow him a couple of weeks to work with GWA to write a new order in which GWA agrees to borrow the money. And that's consistent with what we suggested.
This $20 million problem revolves around an amendment tacked onto a GWA bond borrowing measure last May, raising the utilities borrowing authority from $220 to $240 million. The amendment, proposed by Senator Ben Pangilinan, the extra $20 million, meant to pay part of the costs of tax refunds and payments to Lola Cola claimants. But GWA didn't ask for that extra $20 million when it went to the bond market last year. They only asked for the initial $220 million. Law Judge Mayer and some lawmakers felt GWA had skirted the Pangilinan amendment. And 2 weeks ago, Mayer issued his opinion that GWA should take that $20 million out of the $220 million raised last year by the GWA infrastructure bond. If the PUC had adopted Mayer's opinion last night, Sanchez said it would have led to court.
If our bond counsel, Stan Dirks, who's been the bond counsel for all of GovGuam's notes for the last 30 years, says it gives him great concern that we would be threatening the structure of the bond we've already sold, and it could put us in a position of default, and a position where people that just loaned us money would ask for their money back. That was too risky for GWA and the ratepayers.
Instead, the PUC agreed to go along with the compromise Sanchez and Mayer had worked out.
The PUC decided to accept the ALJ's recommendation to table his proposed order, and he was given 2 weeks to work with GWA to come up with a new order in whereby GWA agrees to borrow the money as authorized by law.
But Sanchez says it will still mean a rate increase.
We calculate that we're only going to be able to borrow a 5 or 10-year note on $20 million. So depending on the term, it's going to be somewhere between a 4 to 8% rate increase to pay off this $20 million.
Administrative Law Judge Mayer did not return a call for comment. Kevin Kerrigan, PNC News.